small sample of related shades, allowing you to view the actual hues without prying off the lids of paint cans. With thousands of shades to choose from, how do they get it all down on paper? Whether you're looking for a brilliant blue or a marvelous mauve, careful scrutiny of paint chip cards can help you get it right before the paint hits the wall. Highly concentrated colorants stored in tanks will be used to reproduce paint colors in lacquer, similar to the kind used in nail polish. Lacquer produces better results on paper than actual paint. They pipe the colorants to a dispenser. At the same time, a bucket containing lacquer heads towards it. The dispenser has many tentacles with nozzles at the end of each one, and each tentacle is connected to one of the colorant tanks. A computerized mechanism grabs the nozzles to dispense different colorants, following a specific paint color formula. The bucket sits on a scale, and the weight is constantly monitored by the computer to confirm that exact amounts are being added. A blender mixes the colorants in the lacquer. The mixing speed and time have been preset to avoid over or under mixing. Now for the color test. A technician pools a bit of the lacquer-based paint on a sheet of paper, just under a steel bar. Using that bar, he spreads the color evenly across the paper. Then it's into a kind of moving convection oven to dry the color. The technician compares the color and gloss to that of the standard. He also does a computer analysis and sends the formula back for tweaking when necessary. Once they perfect the hue and the gloss, production is ready to roll. A worker pours the approved lacquer-based paints into cylindrical tanks above the coating machine. There are over 24 of these tanks because they'll be putting that many colors on paper in one production run. He connects plastic tubing to the tanks to narrow the flow and aim it at the die block below. He activates the machine and adjusts the tension of the paper as it moves forward. Lacquer flows into a die, coating the paper with an endless rainbow of color. A bar overhead spreads the lacquer evenly without actually touching the paper. The striped paper then travels through an oven. The solvents evaporate, leaving a dried lacquer skin on the paper. If regular paint had been used, the paper would have absorbed it and ended up wavy, but with the lacquer paint, it remains flat. Rotary blades cut the coated paper into sheets sized to fit printing machinery down the line. They land in a neat stack. Using a transparent template, the next worker measures the width of each stripe. He then confirms that the colors are in the correct order by checking each stripe against the approved proofs. He checks the gloss with a gloss meter. It aims light on an angle and registers the reflection to confirm that the gloss is consistent. With the OK from the tester, the entire production run receives the go-ahead. The press operator stacks them face down for loading into the printer. A feeder serves up the striped sheets to the printing line, one at a time. It's a 4-station printing press. Each cylinder is equipped with an ink of a different color to stand out against the various paint card stripes. They print the paint color names and numbers on both sides. They also apply varnish to the back of the sheets, so the paint chip cards won't stick to one another when stacked. Named and numbered, the color stripes are now identifiable. The sheets go under a guillotine blade, which slices them into paint chip cards. Powered by hydraulics and super sharp, the blade cuts through hundreds of paper sheets like butter. They produce 3.5 million paint chip cards a day at this factory. With so many options, the cards are stacked against a quick decision.